我的个天呀！哎呦妈呀，瞧多少车呀！我的天呀！那个拆亮了灯，是不是车上有人呀？
Western suburbs cars were swept away on Monday as relentless rain, since the weekend transformed roads in the river, spilling at least 2 and trapping hundreds, despite an overnight evacuation of tens of thousands from their homes. Hundreds of roads have been complete, flooded in China's capital, with videos posted by state media showing at submerged vehicles and Mentubu district pulled along by fast-moving as the typhoon dumped for rainfall on the city of nearly 22 million. 2 bodies were found in a river during an emergency patrol, and Mentubu, as rescuers told hundreds to safety, and other parts of the city besides Beijing. Heavy rain continued to soak the neighboring city of Tianjin, as well as Hebei province, in a region nearly the size of Britain in the wake of Doksuri, which was downgrade to a tropical depression on the weekend. 3 of the 5 rivers that make up the high river basin rose to dangerous levels. On Monday, some houses were washed into the Yelling River, and nearly 55,000 people were evacuated from their homes in Beijing city, state media reported. Doksuri was one of the strongest storms to hit China in years and caused widespread flooding over the weekend in the southern province of Fujian, driving hundreds of thousands of people from their homes. Average rainfall in Beijing reached 176.9 millimeters, 70 inches, between Saturday night and Monday afternoon, with the maximum recorded rainfall, and at a weather station in Nen, Tobu hitting 580.9 millimeters, 23 inches, according to state media. The observatory kept red alert, the highest warning for heavy rainfall, in place, while Beijing Hydro Station upgraded its flood warning with more rain and river flooding forecast. Incessant rainfall over the weekend until Monday morning has broken daily precipitation records at 14 weather stations in Beijing, Heilongjiang, and Shandong province. More than 31,000 people were evacuated from their homes in Beijing. Work at more than 4,000 construction sites was halted. Almost 20,000 buildings were inspected for damage, and scenic spots in the city were closed, media reported. Both airports in the capital canceled more than 200 flights on Monday afternoon, with close to 600 delayed, according to flight tracking app. Flight Master Railway authorities dispatched workers chosen food, including instant noodles, eggs, and ham, and drinking water, to train passengers who were stuck overnight. As many as 358 roads in Beijing were affected by the rain. As of Monday, in northern Hebei province, a driver was missing after 2 trucks fell off a collapsed bridge in Beijing city on Sunday, while a railway bridge for freight and Shijiazhuo city was washed away in a swollen river, media reported. While Doksuri continues to taper off, forecasters warned that Typhoon Cannon was approaching and was set to strike China's densely populated coast. This week, authorities said Cannon could inflict further damage to corn and other crops that have already been hit by Doxy, China's capital. Beijing issued its highest alert for flooding and landslides amid heavy rainfall in the city. Large parts of the suburbs are at high risk of collapses, landslides, and mudslides, authorities said, issuing a rare red alert for flooding. This comes after tens of thousands of people were evacuated from their homes in the city as Typhoon Doksuri brought record rainfall. Flights were grounded and hundreds of roads were flooded, state media reported. Typhoon Doksuri is one of the strongest storms to hit China years. It caused widespread flooding over the weekend and Fujian, and brought heavy rainfall in the Anjin as well as Hebei province are reached nearly the size of Britain. The typhoon was downgraded to a tropical department region on the weekend, but 3 of the 5 rivers that make up the high river basin rose to dangerous levels as houses were washed into the Yang River. Nearly 55,000 people were evacuated from their homes, and Beijing city, Beijing average rainfall reached 100 and 6.9 millimeters inches between Saturday night and Monday afternoon, with the maximum recorded rainfall in then hitting 580.9 millimeters 23 inches. The Beijing Observatory kept a red alert, the highest warning for heavy rainfall, in place while Beijing Hydro Station operated its flood warning with more rain and river flooding forecast. The rain has halted work at more than 4,000 construction sites, and almost 20,000 buildings were inspected for damage. All scenic spots in the city closed, state media reported, while both airports in the capital canceled more than 180 flights on Monday morning. With hundreds more delay, as many as 358 roads in Beijing were affected by the rain, although there was no reported damage or casualties, Reuters reported. Forecasters also warned that as Typhoon Doksuri taps off Cannon was approaching and is set to strike Shan's densely populated coast this week after Ronghobo. In the Philippines and Taiwan, the Typhoon Doksuri passed through China's capital city on Monday, forcing thousands of people to flee their homes. Beijing has recorded its heaviest rainfall for the year so far. Authorities warned of swelling rivers, floods, landslides, and mudslides, and the capital and surrounding regions. Some 170.9 millimeters of rain inundated Beijing between Saturday night and Monday. The Beijing Meteorological Bureau said this is the amount of rainfall for the entire month of July, according to official records. The torrential rainfall has forced authorities to issue the highest level of alert in northern China, covering millions of people. The alert includes 22 million people in Beijing and 40 million in Tianjin, according to local media. This is the first time such a heavy rainfall warning has been issued since 2011. As a precaution, residents have been asked to stay indoors. Offices have been not to force their employees to come to the office, while public spaces and recreational centers. Chinese state media reported 2 bodies were pulled from a river in Beijing's western Nantubu district during an emergency patrol. Hundreds of roads in the capital are also reported flooded in Beijing, with cars being swept away and subway stations filled with water. The storm has been felt in China since Friday, first hitting the southern Fujian province with heavy rainfall. Chin's meteorologic agency warned that Doksuri's impact was far from over despite the reduced intensity. In 2021, heavy rainfall and severe flooding resulted in the death of 300 people in central China's Guizhou. As a precaution, residents have been asked to stay indoors. Offices have been not to force their employees to come to the office, while public spaces and recreational centers remain closed. Another typhoon named Cannon, the 6th one this year, according to Xinhua News, is expected to reach China this week. Authorities said it could further damage crops that have been affected by
全白沟所有人从未经历过的逃亡。这一场雨，不要给大家带来温暖。
天亮了，就是我这 我家的锅碗瓢盆都出来了，都自由了。